BMW bikes are flawless, but BMW riders are just plain arrogant. Let's get into this one. RevelatorAlf. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. So this video is all about BMW as a motorcycle manufacturer, the dealerships and the people that ride them. Now, I think they get a lot of bad press, and unnecessarily so, I think, but maybe they do deserve it as well at times. So let's just talk about the bikes first of all. I've been a big fan of BMW motorcycles for a long time, way back in the sort of 80s when I first started looking at them as a younger person. I think actually, they're kind of old, retro style, and I thought, oh, they're really nice bikes. K75, K100, but then obviously the R series as well before that. Then they came out obviously with the adventure bike and the Charlie and Ewan effect as well, and that really propelled BMW, to into the clouds, really, into the consciousness of many riders, and that's it's been a massive seller. In fact, I think they're still one of the biggest selling motorcycles out there as well. They've expanded their range, and they've got some great bikes, great old style engines, but new technology on the newer engines as well. So whichever you're looking at, whether you're looking at the the GS, whether you're looking at the R18s, with the Cruiser or the Transcontinental or the Bag or whatever it is, if you're looking at the R9Ts, whichever bike you can look at, there is something for everybody at a BMW dealership, I'm sure. And I kind of just like going into the BMW dealership because they're kind of a little bit like Harley Davidson, but more, dare I say it, I can't find the word, but it's more clean and clinical rather than Harley Davidson, which is a bit more homely and fun, perhaps. But BMW is just clean and clinical. You go in there, BMW there on a pedestal, there's another one there, polished floors, it's all black and white inside. Well, the one that I would go to, let's say. The cafe area, nice tall table. It's all very, it's not just a big coffee machine. It's all kind of bespoke, small coffee machines. It just looks cool. And, people there seem friendly, just like anywhere else, and everybody's trying to sell you a motorcycle because that's the business they're in, of course. So I like BMW motorcycles, and yes, they can have criticism just like anywhere else. But I look at the technology, and I think year on year they seem to have just come out with something bigger and better, and an improvement on previous years. What I would say is that sometimes possibly the tech overtakes what riding is all about, perhaps. What I also say is they are expensive bikes, just like any other brand these days as well. Or certainly the bigger bikes are. But, you can't argue with the quality of the bikes. I mean, their sports bike is pretty much a bike for the track. It's a road bike, but you could just take that bike on the track, as it were, and you do pretty well. You strip off everything else and you just use that out the crate on the track, and you do pretty well, if you're a capable rider, of course, which I'm not. But I'd say great all-round lineup, great bikes, from the big bikes coming down the range and into the smaller bikes, and I've reviewed a couple of them as well in the past, and I've got to say they're just flawless. One of the best touring bikes. In fact, I think it is the best touring bike that I've ever ridden, is that RT. It's just a fantastic bike, and I'd love to ride them, again and more often, because it's not necessarily that you're getting a thrill ride. You're not getting, it's a gut pounding kind of ride, but it's just, that you're on a ride that is assured, and it works, and it's just perfect for what you want to do. I'm a big fan. I say I'm a big fan. Would I ever see myself buying one? I'm not sure. I mean, again, it's a weird one because I really like the brand, and I really like the bikes, or the ones that I've ridden. I kind of like the styling cues on many of them. The R9Ts, I like all that sort of retro feel. I like the modern touch on the Taurus. I love the R18 as well. I love that GS, and I could look at those bikes all day long. You go outside and they've got all the other models lined up, all the used bikes, and yes, there's some great bikes, but it's very Germanic. because it's a German motorcycle brand, right? But it's very generic, it's very clinical, and it's very on point. And if you're looking for precision, that's where they seem to be in that marketplace. It's precision motorcycling, great engineering. But then, is that just a falsehood? Because if you look online or if you look on forums, BMW riders seem to have one hell of a time with their bikes at times. The dealerships, I believe, I could be wrong here, so let us know in the comments below as well if you've got any insights into this. But I believe the dealerships don't even sell you or don't even make available any kind of service manuals anymore at all. There's no option for you to work on these bikes. You know, we talk in the Harley Davidson world, we talk about our dealership prices in terms of servicing and everything. BMW are just as expensive, and they have such bad reputations as well, in some cases, for some riders as well. So there's, you know, it's not all glory days at BMW, I'm sure. And I'm sure there's lots of people who would go against what BMW have done and how they treat their riders. But I'm sure there's lots of other fans as well. And so I'm a fan of what I've seen, but I've no real experience of owning one. I've only got the experience of riding them, and when I've ridden them, they've been flawless. They've been absolutely great. Now, what kind of person rides a BMW? Because again, they come in for a lot of criticism, especially the GS riders as well. They seem to be in a world of their own. They're only interested if there are other GS riders around. They're not really interested in, you know, waving or nodding to other bikes. And again, I've not found this myself, but I can see how other people might interpret that. Now, whether they're just associating that kind of rider on that kind of bike because it's a German bike, I do not know. I mean, maybe because a lot of them kind of like to dress the part, as in adventure riders and everything like that. But the same could be thrown at Harley Davidson riders or Indian riders who might dress in a certain way, or sports bike riders who might dress in a certain way. So I kind of don't buy into that. And I think, you know, there's an overgeneralization sometimes of the arrogance of BMW riders. I mean, I've not noticed it myself, but I'd say I find the same traits in BMW riders, and I see that in Harley Davidson riders, I see that in Suzuki riders and Kawasaki riders. You know, you see what you find, don't you? And sometimes people can be friendly, or somebody can be, you know, wave at you as you're riding down the road or nod, and other times they don't. It's just the way it is. But let us know your thoughts on this. You know, your thoughts on BMW as motorcycles, as dealerships, as a manufacturer, and also as riders. What are your experience of the bikes and the riding community, as it were? But I'm a big fan of their bikes. I enjoy going to their dealership. You know, I don't often go there, I got to say, but I enjoy going to the dealership. I did find it really funny that a few weeks ago now, I was on a ride out to the coast, and I went past a dealership, and every bike outside, they're having some kind of barbecue thing, just like Harley Davidson. They have like an open day type thing. And every bike parked outside was a GS from riders. So it was just really funny to me that everybody had turned up on their GS. I mean, you could definitely tell that it was a BMW day, as it were. But anyway, I digress. Let us know what your thoughts are. But don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share, and check out the website, RevelatorAlf.com. And I'll catch you again, maybe on a BMW. Ta-da!